Hello, my name is Jose Luis Reyes. I'm from Mexico. I have a company called Estrenón. And what we do is we have secondhand clothing stores, and we buy secondhand clothing from people that they do have access to brand new clothing. So we pay a little amount to them, and we pass them through a process. We sanitize the clothing, we tag them, we put them in the stores, and then other families with lower, like income position, they can go there and buy really, really good clothes at very affordable prices. All of them offline and here in Mexico.
Beautiful. Hi, Jose. How are you doing?
I'm very good here with the best attitude with you, as always.
You know what? I can't believe that just a few weeks ago I was in Mexico doing a conference, being with you and your family, seeing your colleagues, and the world has changed dramatically. So I'm going to start. I'm going to start out of order, like of all the conversations I've had. How has the world changed for you? Your company, for the people that you're working for your country. I shouldn't say your country, but for Guadalajara, how has that changed? How has a few weeks changed for you?
It's been like a complete change, like in my professional and personal life, because I have these plans for this year, and I have like a lot of things to do, and trips and conferences, and I plan my year like the perfect match, like for every point, every date on the year. I have like everything, like my forecast, not only in terms of financial things, but also in terms of hiring people, the social impact, how many garments. So we were supposed to grow a lot of like numbers financially, and garments, and a lot of metrics that we have. And I was supposed to go to a personal, we can call it like a personal retreat in India for supposedly 11 months that I was gonna be there. And I got I passed through all the process since August of last year, and they accepted me in January. So I arranged everything in my company, in my life, in my apartment, everything in this perfect structure. And right now I'm I don't know what am I gonna do, because this virus that has come for all of us in the world has changed, as I'm telling you, not only my professional plans, but also my personal plans. But I'm working, I'm working here in my home. We created a new product that I'm going to talk about that with you. And my role has changed a lot, because I was supposed to not be like in the operational of my company, because I was supposed to go to India for this long period. But right now I'm very, very into the company and working there. And how has changed? Like a lot, I cannot describe it, because it's been like a huge impact, not only in my company, but also with me, in my thoughts and my way of thinking, my habits, because I'm a very I'm a sport person, so every day I used to go to the gym and to do like my routine and everything, like very structured. And right now I'm I'm here in my house, so I need to exercise here, I need to eat here, I need to do everything here. I have to have like this conference business calls in my apartment, and I was not very used to work in my house.
So let's talk about your company for a bit. So
Yeah.
You have how many buildings, like brick and mortar? How many locations do you have, and how many employees are under you, and how are they doing? Like, how are you navigate through this?
Yeah. So before this whole pandemic, we had 25 stores with more than 95 people working in a full-time job in our company. Mm-hmm. So that's I'm telling you, like before the virus, because right now we had to close 2 stores, because we decided that it was the best thing to do, because we knew that we are gonna pay for rents and salaries for 2 months, and at least for 2 months with no income of the stores. So we decided to close these 2 stores. We're gonna close maybe 1 more, and that's it. I don't want to close more stores. And talking about people, we had to fire in a legal way and everything, but we had to fire 18 people of our team.
So the good thing, I mean, it's always devastating when you have to let anyone go, because it's like they're part of your family. But you have kept on the majority of your team. You've kept on the majority of your stores. The people that are still with you, how are they doing? Because they're not able to go to work. They do have a job, but for 2 months. How are you keeping them feeling reassured? Because again, you were supposed to be gone. You were supposed to be gone. You have an entire team of individuals that are taking over while you were going to go on a sabbatical. And now you're back. You're back. And people are leaving not by choice. And you're trying to keep that momentum up. So what are you doing to be able to keep that momentum up as they're watching what the world is doing?
I know. Yeah, well, just to give you like a complete context of the company, I hired a new CEO of my company. That was in December, November last year. So right now that things have, they have changed a lot. I'm not like there in the company, like in the operation, So I'm here in my apartment, like advising every day. I have calls with the CEO, like, I don't know, maybe 2 hours per day, like calling, but I'm not there with the team, so I'm just with the CEO. So all the contact that I have with my company, it's only with the CEO. Obviously, at the beginning, as he is new in the company as well, so he entered that November, December, and today we are March. So he has been in the company only for 4 months, 5 months. And the main thing for me, it was when all these things happened, I was like, oh my God, my CEO is going to run, he's going to cry, he's going to collapse. I don't know what's going to happen with him. Because, I've been running the company for 8 years. So we have been, like a lot of, not only this kind of, virus or pandemic, but also about crisis and people stuff. And we have been also closing stores and, like these kind of things. But he is new. And for me, the most important thing was that person. I know, and I, as you said, I love my team and I really appreciate them. But for me, the main person and the most important person at that moment, and in these moments, is the CEO that is called Iran. So he is very good, and he is very, very, how can I say, like very perseverance, and he's so persistent. But he needs, as all of us, he needs like a lot of like empowerment and advices, and like not only my words, but also contacts and maybe some tips and stuff like that. So for me, that was the most important thing. And when we were announced that we had to like mandatory close the stores, he decided by himself like to put all the team together. I know that was not allowed, like to put all the team together, but he did, and that was his decision, and I support his decision. So he put all the team together on a Saturday, and he gave like a talk and a speech about the situation, that it was not something about us. So we had to reduce the salaries 30%. So all the people that are making 70% of their salaries. And in the office, that it's like our main office, that where he is, and like the headquarters that we have here in Guadalajara, they are getting 50% of the salary, plus some commissions that they are making very good right now with the new product that we launched. So I would say that the main thing that I've been like promoting and working on, it's about communication and giving them like the clarity about the situation, that it's not about us, that we're gonna make all the effort, and we're gonna put all our resources, my personal resources, my personal time, my everything, to maintain the company as it was. And we want to open new stores. These stores that we're closing, they were not the best stores. So we decided, because the rents, they were very, very high, and they were not making very good. So we decided to get rid of them. And the people that we had to fire, they were the newest ones, so they had like 1 month or 3 months, or I think the oldest one, he had like 6 months, right? So we got like this rule about not getting not getting rid of the people that have been working with us like for a long period of time. So I would say communication, and he is taking some webinars with me, so I'm always like reading. I gave him a book that I really liked a lot. and with some webinars and some, like lectures and things like that, that I'm always, like pushing him to be not only motivated, but also educated about the situation.
So I have to say that what you're doing is like really, it's smart, it's wise in regards of empowering the people that you are working with, especially your direct, your direct person, you're the CEO. Talk about that in regards to what advice would you give to individual that's not a true, they have it in them to be a leader, but in this situation, it's fear. It's fear. They don't know what's going on. I mean, in the States, a lot of us are in week number 5, but in Western Mass, Western United States, California, Oregon, they're in week number 8.
Yeah.
So talk to individuals about how do you create that leadership, the leader within your company. You are the leadership, you are the head, whether you're board members, whether you are the original founder, owner, and you have that CEO individual, you want them to succeed, you want the company to succeed, you want the team to succeed, but you don't want to step on their toes. What are the steps that you take? I mean, what are the steps that you did take, but what are the steps that you would advise about how do I create the best leader in the worst situation?
I would say, first of all, it's to create like this confidence. That person, he or she, needs to see in you like someone who supports his decisions or her decisions. Because in these times we are gonna, if we usually do a lot of bad things or make errors, like if we have like these mistakes, like in a regular time. Nowadays, I mean, like right now with this situation, that is an external situation, we're gonna have like more mistakes, because we are nervous, we're with these feelings, anxiety, like a lot of things. So first of all is to transmit this confidence that, I mean, like I respect your decisions, this is the situation. So I think that will be like the first one, like to share or to show confidence with the other person, that leader, and that leader with the other leader and with the other leaders, right? So I would say that's the first. Second, I would say like to accept the situation, because at the beginning I'm gonna be very honest with you. You know me, I'm very intense. I'm very, very emotional person. So at the beginning I was like, no, what's happening? My company, my team, my trip, my money, my everything, right? Because I mean, like in some way I'm a public person, right? So I was like, what am I gonna do? I mean, like all my reputation is gonna fall down, because my stores may close, and I mean, like I was like very persistent about the situation. So what I did, and that's what I did with the other leader as well, but first with me, I accepted the situation, but it was not about me, it's about the world. This is something that I cannot control. This is something that I cannot like it's not on my hands right now. So I'm gonna follow that with the second advice that I would give, that is to accept the situation, but really to accept it, because it was not easy for me, like it was not easy for me, like to say, yeah, this is a pandemic. I mean, like this is a historical thing. This is something that we don't know how to manage it. We don't know how to. I mean, there's not a book about a pandemic entrepreneurship or something like that. So for me, I would say that was the second thing that I did with myself and with my leader, like to accept it and to just to say, this is it. And third and most important, well, I wouldn't say the most important, but one of the most important things is to act, like to do something. I mean, like we have been, I mean, that since first day, we have been, like making these forecasts and projections and what's going to happen, to put like scenario A, B, C, D. If we open stores in 1 month, in 2 months, what's going to happen with financial cash flow? Are we going to fire more people? Are we going to close more stores? Do we need to get money out of this? Do we need to sell this? So we have, and that's the third key that I would give, to work on numbers, because sometimes not having the numbers, and I know a lot of people that they are in my situation, but they are not working with a forecast, they are not working with a plan, right? Mm-hmm. Even if I told you that my original plan was not working and it's not working anymore, I mean, like you need to replan, right? Every day. So if we, I mean, like in my company, we usually create plans every year. I mean, like right now we are making it every week. I mean, like every week we are having a conversation with the CEO and myself.
Yep.
So we are, like we have shared file, and there we are, like changing numbers and changing expenses, and we are not gonna pay this, we are gonna pay this. The first thing that we are paying is people. The second is taxes, because as you don't know, but I'm gonna share this with you. April is the annual declaration, I don't know how to say that in English, for the IRS.
Yes, it's like
here in Mexico.
It's exactly same thing with like in April 15th here, tax day, but
Yeah.
July 15th here in the States.
So it's like a complete shock because we need to pay a lot of money on that, like social security and things like that. So we are working with plans, even if life is showing us that plans, like they are not always what we are supposed to follow about our plans. But I would say right now, one of the key factors that have been working with me and with my CEO and with the team is to have plans and to follow up the results and to follow up the indicators, the new indicators that we have right now. So I would say these three things are the most important things that I have been, like putting into myself and with my team.
Beautiful. Now, the good thing about small businesses and entrepreneurs and startups are you guys are known for pivoting. You are known for coming up with a plan when there is no plan. You're known for literally coming up with nothing. So I'm going to start with question number one, or statement number one. You started this company, why?
Yeah.
And then the second part of it, now it's like how many years later, what is it that you're doing right now because of the situation that has you excited about what your company is doing? So why did you start it? How many years in between? And this situation got you excited about doing what?
Yeah. So I started my company 8 years ago, and the why or the mission or my passion that created this company, it is about overcoming social inequality. So for me, since when I was a kid, I was like very upset about inequality in the world. So all the time I'm upset about that. Like inequality for me, it's something that I don't accept, I don't like, I don't promote, obviously. So I started that company because my real undercover mission was to overcome social inequality in some way. So I decided to put good clothing for low-income families so they can get really good clothing at very good prices, so to put access to all the people to buy clothing. So I would say that's my personal mission. 8 years later, we are, I can tell you, still we are very successful. We have a lot of stores, a lot of people, we are making money, everything is and was very good. Was very good and is very good, because I'm going to tell you what we're doing, and it's getting me, yeah.
But before you go there, I have to ask you, why is the clothing important? What is it with the clothing that is coming from one economic group to the next? Why is it so important in Guadalajara?
It's beyond Guadalajara. It's all Latin America. So it's about personal appearance. Like physical appearance. It's so important here in Latin America. People who don't have access to that kind of clothing, they cannot go. Like if they are in a low income sector, right? They cannot even go to the interview of the job because to a job interview, because they don't have like proper clothing to go to the interview. So they are not gonna get the job. They are not gonna get the partner. They are not gonna go to the party. They are not. So that self-esteem of the person is diminished because of the personal appearance. So and they don't have money. So it's like a vicious cycle, So they don't have money, so they cannot buy good clothing. They cannot access to very good opportunities, so they don't have money. So it goes like this. So what we are doing is like to breaking this cycle and to putting good clothing to the person so they can get like this good self-esteem and empowerment for themselves, so they can go out and find by themselves these opportunities, so they can in some way, that's the dream, to get into a higher economic level because of the opportunities, because of the clothing, and in that higher economic level they can have a better life, and we can overcome social inequality like altogether.
And what is the feedback from a lot of your customers on both sides?
I mean, like, I would say in the stores, that they are the users, the final customers, they are like, like super happy, like they are always, like fighting for the clothing because they are unique garments. So they are always fighting, and they are always like, they're like, like making the lines for paying, and very, very good. So these 8 years, I have been there in the stores, and seeing people like, like giving me thanks because of the model, like, thank you very much because now I have this, and they tell me, like all the stories and all the things that they have achieved and they have gone through because of the clothing, but it's not the clothing, it's about how they feel about using this kind of clothing. So in that part, they are super happy. They are always, asking for better prices, obviously, because they always want to pay less. But that's part of the customer here in Mexico. But they are very happy, and they are empowering themselves to develop a better life by themselves, with the clothing, but by themselves. And in the other side, we have the suppliers, that they are the most important part in some way of our business model, because they give the supply of the whole chain. So it was a challenge for us, because we are the first model in Mexico, and as far as we know, in Latin America, and in some way, that we are promoting this part of bring your clothes with us, and we're gonna pay you a little amount of money. And for example, I know that in the US, in America, you have like this very donation culture, very like common for you. And here in Mexico and Latin America, it's not that common. It's not that common to just to put your clothing outside in the street, and just Goodwill or some company or nonprofit organization is gonna pass for it. So we had to educate, our suppliers, to tell them, this is a for-profit company, and we're gonna give you a little amount of money, so you can have like this some kind of reward, more than emotional. It's something important, but also you are gonna have some pesos, Mexican pesos, just to use them for anything that you may want. So that, I can tell you that in the side of the suppliers, it's been like more challenging. It's been, we have been working on marketing strategies, communication strategies. They want more money for the clothing. Sometimes they bring very bad clothing, so we cannot accept them. So when we tell them that we are not accepting these kind of garments, they are getting like offended, because they don't want to accept that their clothing is not very good for us. So it's been like a huge challenge for us, and for the model, and for the team, to educate. That's the word that I would use, that to educate the suppliers, that we call them customer suppliers, because at the end, they are not only suppliers like in a factory or something like that. They are customers, and they are suppliers. So right now, it was last week, we had a meeting with the CEO and one of my partners, and we were talking about how are we gonna like to change a lot of things in the supplier experience, because the normal model is you go to the buying center or to the reception center. So we know that if we open stores in the buying center, let's say in 1 month, people are gonna be like some kind of afraid of going there, because it's secondhand clothing, right? So we are developing all this kind. We're gonna have Crocs, and we're gonna have like picking up service straight to the house, and a lot of new things that we're gonna establish in order to get and to make happier our suppliers, and to get the suppliers we need to to satisfy all the customers that we're gonna have.
Well, this is perfect. So again, where the company started 8 years later, this is happening, and you just you just started the conversation. What are you doing new? What are you doing to, like, in regards of the anxiety? You're getting anxiety from your employees, because you're dealing with people. You're getting anxiety from the individuals that are buying. You're getting anxiety from the individuals that are bringing. What are you doing right now to stay relevant, to keep your people busy, and to make sure that all people that are involved don't have high anxiety? Because
Yeah.
when we open, we don't know what they're going to come into anymore.
Yeah, so before we closed the stores, we already had like this international news, and we already had the virus in Mexico, but we were not like, like it was not mandatory to close the store. So we were there, and sales were dropping off, and I was like, what's happening? Like we need to do something. I mean, like right now, even if we don't close the stores, we cannot have a company with this amount of sales.
Right.
So I, in a conversation that we had with the CEO and my partner, we were talking about, and that was something that I said. We had to put like a sign outside of the store that says sanitized clothing, because they sanitize space and clothing, so people need to feel like safe inside of the store and to buy more, and not to feel that. And that was before the lockdown. And not because it's secondhand clothing, you're gonna get the virus here, right? So we decided to put like this sign, and then we said, no, why don't we bring the sanitizer, like the real sanitizer that we use in our warehouse? Why don't we bring it to the stores so people can see with their own eyes that we are sanitizing, like actually and really, then for real the clothing.
Yeah.
And then we said, why did we put it like in the cashier? And they can see that it exists, and when they buy, they can like put and splash the liquid in the clothing. Yep. And then we said, why don't we create a product like in a commercial way? So that's what we do. And
I love the sales. I love it.
I know. So we created a concept that it's called Sanitex. That it's the new the brand that we created. Yep. That it's about sanitization and textiles, because the focus of this product is for clothing and fabrics, and like bed and pillows, and all the things that have a fabric on it. Yep. So we decided to create a product, and that was before the lockdown. So we got like very excited about the product and the price and the opportunity. Mm-hmm. And we designed it, and that was like something like in a record time. In 36 hours, we had like the brand, the product, the label, the render, everything.
36 hours.
It was amazing. I worked in a couple of years ago. I worked in PepsiCo, mm-hmm. and to launch a product, it took us like
months. It's usually months.
It's like 7 months.
Whether it's the name, whether it's like
the brand, the colors.
Like everything. There's so many different things about it. So that is amazing. 36 hours.
36 hours.
So what happened? So you came up with the idea. You had the product already.
We had the product. We received the first 1,500 units of the product, and the next day we had to close the stores. So we were supposed to sell this product like in our stores, so we were supposed to make more money out of that product, not only clothing, but also the sanitizer. Mm-hmm. So we received the notification that we had to close, because our business is not an essential business here in Mexico. So we had to close everything. And we were like, what? We invested money on the product, on the packaging, everything, right? And we were like, what are we going to do? And we said, we need to sell them. Let's sell them. We can use web, we can use like online platforms, however. So we started to sell, and in 3 days, that's also like a record. In 3 days, we sold everything. So it
how much product did you have? I need like
1,500.
I'm sorry,
1,500.
And in 3 days, gone.
In 3 days, gone. Gone. So we were like, oh my God, what's happening, And obviously the product had like some mistakes on the label that we catched like later. And we were like, oh my God, this is like grammar mistake, So, and the packaging was different. And at the end, we had to do whatever we were supposed to do with the resources that we had, right? Mm-hmm. Because the original liquid, it was green. And I was like, no, green. I wouldn't put that on my white shirt, right? Yeah. So we decided to put to get rid of the green and to change the smell, because it used to smell a lot to lemon, and right now it's just like a tiny flavor or smell of lemon. Yep. So that was the third day. So we decided to stay with 10 people working in the office, in the headquarters, and they are right now very successfully working. We have been sending the product to 29 different cities in Mexico. So that's something that we didn't achieve with my company, with my original company, right? That was my dream, like to be all over Mexico and to have my clothing stores all over the country. And right now, I told the CEO, which I don't know if you remember, but to the people that they are listening to this interview, Jodi knows me because she was my mentor in Mass Challenge, and one of my main slides of my pitch was this Mexico map full of stores, right? And I'm working towards it still. But right now we made it. You know, I mean, like we made it. We are almost in all Mexico. I mean, like 29 cities of the country. It's something amazing. We have been learning a lot of things about online things, about packaging, about delivery companies. I mean, like we sold. This was yesterday to 250 stores of American Eagle. They are gonna use the product. So for me, it was like, wow, you know, amazing, amazing. So we decided to create a new. This is the 650 millimeters, and then we are launching a new pocket one and one for industries. And maybe, I mean, like we're selling a lot. I mean, we still have a lot of expenses to pay, salaries and rents and taxes and everything. But I mean, like we're making money in some way that we are using to put it back in our responsibilities that we have. But I'm very, very happy. I don't know if you can see this, but I'm very happy because one of my dreams, and I'm not kidding, one of my dreams when I used to work in this international company was to launch a product someday and to see it like in this, you know, like to see it like in real and people calling and they are loving the product. We made a very like a good strategy and marketing way to put it like very in a niche of clothing.
I do love great marketing.
I know you told me so. You told me so. Yeah. So that's what we're doing. And 10 people, they are still working. They are making their full salary, as I told you. They are making 50% plus bonuses that they are making. I would say maybe more money than what they were making before, because we have goals and commissions of selling. So we are making this a huge launching, you know, launching. That obviously it was not in the plan. Obviously it was not in my plans. Obviously it was in my plans in someday in my life launching a new product. But today we are doing this and we are very happy, and we know that this can continue even after the pandemic. We can use this product in stores and maybe in retail chains, and maybe we're gonna sell maybe in a very, very big like the supermarket companies that they want the product, but they want to pay in 90 days. So we don't know if we want that in this moment, you know, because we are.
I was gonna say, I mean, that whole entire 30, 60, 90-day rule is kind of out the window when we have no rules anymore.
I know.
I think it's like, I think that is very hard to actually swallow when you know that everyone's in the same situation globally, that you can't go by that rule anymore. And if they really need it, they're going to pay it. So I'm going to wrap up, but I'm going to have I have two more questions. So you, I mean, gracefully pivoted and you added a new product, something that you would have never, ever thought about. Someone is at home right now in Mexico. They just got fired. They just got laid off. They were thinking about starting a business on their own. Or those individuals that are inside their company and their doors have been closed and they're like, we are watching all of our competitors or our neighbors coming up with ideas and I can't come up with something. What would you tell them? What would you tell the person that's like wanting to start a business but was always afraid? And what are you telling the person that has a business and yet doesn't have the creativity yet? They have it in them. They've been running their business. It's been fine. And now they're watching everyone else coming up with creative ideas and they're just not, they're stuck. So what would you say to those two people?
Yeah, there are some like specific things that I can like to share with these people. First of all, I understand like the feeling of saying like, what? I mean, like Jose Luis launched this and he is very successful and why am I not doing this? And so you can feel worse. So calm down. I'm going to give you like some specific things that you can do. First is, as I told you, I'm like, we had this product in front of the face for 8 years. We used that product for 8 years in the warehouse. We have never thought about putting it outside of the warehouse, not even stores, not even in the online market. No, I mean, like it was there for 8 years. We use that product to sanitize our products. So first of all is go back to your company. I mean, like not physically, you can do it like mentally. Go back to your company and make a list of all the things that you use, that they are useful for your company, and not only things, but also methods, methodologies, processes, things that you have been like improving to make a better work for yourself. So make a list, and that can be very good for you. Something that it's like something, if you work like, I don't know, like in a legal industry, right? A lawyer that is always like stapling, like stapling the sheets. Maybe you can sell the staples, I mean, like you never know. And you have been stapling the things for all the life, and you don't know. So make a list of things that you use, that they are making easier your work or your job, and they can be not only things, but also methods, or also like consultant, I don't know, something that that someone else wants to know. Second is to go online and to look at other countries. You can just copy paste. Like you can, this week in marketing we call it benchmarking, but it's copy paste, and you can just go to other countries.
You learned these terminologies so well.
So you can go online and to go to, I don't know, to China, to Russia, to India, to any country, and to look for those kind of products, services that they are emerging, that they are launching. I mean, maybe, and I had a conversation with an entrepreneur of Bolivia. Maybe they are gonna make this product because we cannot export it. It's very far, and it will be like very pricey. So maybe other person that is right now looking at Mexico, they are realizing that we are creating this product, so they can do it. They can do that product in Peru, in Bolivia, whatever. Yeah, that's the second. And the third, and I would say something very, very important, is something that you want to do. This is a perfect time to, I mean, like if you've been a lawyer for 30 years, 40 years, and now you want to be a speaker, or now you want to be a teacher, or now you want to be a cook or a chef, whatever you want to do, now is the time to create. Now it's time to do whatever you have been always, I mean, like what you have been always wanting to do, So this is the perfect time window and time to be very specific. This is a very specific time to do the thing that you have been, like dreaming of doing someday. So I would say that's the third one. And for me, that's something that you need to think about, that you need to invest time on any of the three things that I told you. But there's always a good idea to do it. And right now, I think that customers, they are more accepting products that they may not be like perfect, like webinars and, like things that they are not perfect, So because the webinar is here, so the camera is moving and the computer is moving and the dog passes, and so it's not perfect. So right now, as I told you, our product at the beginning had grammar mistakes. You know me, I'm like a grammar freak.
Perfectionist.
Yeah, so it was it. And the customer, they were not like, oh my God, this has a grammar mistake. So right now, customers, they are accepting new products with a more relaxed, how can I say,
people are more, well, just like you said, people are definitely more forgiving. I said this when I did the introduction to a lot of these different conversations. I said it's a conversation with people that I know, that I adore, that I respect, but also there's no heavy production. I mean, this is. I mean, there's no heavy production. Maybe the backgrounds, I'll change photos and things like that, but I want to have because I know so many great people globally that are doing phenomenal things in their communities, and I want to share those stories. And that for me is very, very important. And so there are the days where some interviews might be like shorter, the longer, but it's all about making sure that there's a conversation and to hear what wonderful things that people are doing. Yeah. But I'm going to end it by asking that one question. I ask of everybody. What is the ask? What is that ask that you want people out there to understand, to know, to just like to get engaged with what you're doing and what you're all about and your passions?
Yeah. I have like two different asks, one professional and one personal, right? Okay. So the professional one is to maybe someone there, like as you are a very international person, maybe they may want to bring this product that I'm telling you to their countries, and I can show how to do it. You know, we are not interested right now in bringing it to your country. So we want the product and the brand to be in different countries. And that will be like something for me. And you know that in my personal life would be very important to be in different countries with a brand that it's not only about that I created the brand, but it's also a product that can help and can really, really, really save lives. So if you are interested in that product, just email me and I'll share with you all the files and things and advice and everything that I can share with you. So you can create the product and to make money right now. So that would be the first one.
Beautiful.
The second one is all the people that are listening to this interview to follow me on Instagram, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because I was offline for 2 years, and I want to not only to gain more people in my social media, but it's also because I want to share more things as the ones that I told you and that I shared today. But I want to have I'm gonna launch a book, and I want to translate that book to English. So if you follow me and if you speak English, I'm gonna be very happy to put that book in English, and that would be a very personal, like a very personal but a very honest ask that I can tell you. Follow me on Instagram, not because I want to be an influencer, but because I know that I can share my words with more people, and not only the words, but also the book that I'm just launched.
I have to say that, so, I mean, again, we know each other on a personal level. I've mentored you. I mean, your family is my family, which I love. Then I go to Mexico and I have a wonderful family that I engage with. But the passion that you guys all have, I mean, all of you are, I mean, being an entrepreneur started with, I mean, like with your mother. Like, I mean, your mother is a doctor, and she owns her business. And it's the whole entire concept of like your siblings, everyone in your family, your friends, your family, that entrepreneurial ecosystem of making your homeland better and stronger and empowering as many people as possible is something that I've always loved about you. And so I love that you are able to pivot very quickly, come up with other alternative ways, but doing it in a way where it's not, you're doing it in a way where you're not, it's not beneficial for your pocket, but it's beneficial for your community. So I love that so much. And I want to say thank you so very much for taking some time and talking to me. And if anyone doesn't hear the passion and excitement in you, I don't know what because everyone, I mean, I know about it, you know, look, the passion is very clear. When this is all over, I want to see how we've all done. I want to have the next conversation to hear what happened next.
Yeah.
So I look forward to that next conversation with you.
Me too. I'll be happy to share more with you and with all the people that they are your followers. Are you and you are a rock star. So that's what I want.
Stop. It's like, I mean, you know what? Again, I want to share. I'm not gonna lie to you. I do like that. I like the rock star. Yay.
Yeah.
But I love that I'm your rock star. I mean, I want more and more people to understand that I am surrounded by the most amazing people all the time. And when I hear all the bads, people are like, you're so positive, you're so excited. I'm like, because I'm surrounded by people that are doers, that are creators, that are like really like, you guys are rock stars in my life, and you keep me going. So I want to make sure that more and more people know about you. So thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much.